I suck at introductions, so let's get right into it. And I'm smiling a lot more. This is what we expected to happen for this entire series. Indiana, congrats. You got one. We'll take the rest from here. This is what I expected to see from the Thunder in game one and what was happening, but they just let it slip and got Haliburton to hit the shot. And the Pacers have been making some pretty insane comebacks the last few playoff games against the Knicks, against the Cavs. So it even felt like the entire game, a 20-point lead was not safe because we had a 15-point lead in game one and saw that turn into a loss. But last night felt like we finally had control of the game. What I said last reaction for game one was that it felt as though we didn't have that big run that we are normally used to having within the game, where we have a lot of missed shots, a lot of rebounds, a lot of fast break points, a lot of turnovers that turned into a massive run for the team. And ultimately, that finally happened last night, where we had a 9-0 run earlier in the game, and then the second run was a 19-2 run to close out, I think, the second quarter. And it felt like we finally had control of the game like we wanted to have. Great work all across the board. We'll get into Shai in a little bit. 34 points. He's getting a lot of media attention, so we're going to talk about that a little bit more, because some things, kind of like what the Pacers were doing, saying, oh, we're going to go ahead and sweep the I saw some stuff on Twitter like, hey, we're going to sweep the series. We're going to gentlemen sweep the Thunder and win 4-1. I saw some things about how Haliburton is going to end up being the number one player in the world if he wins the title this year. Just a lot of stuff that was happening after game one that I didn't agree with, and I kind of said, pump your brakes to all the Pacers fans. Same thing I'll get into for Shai. We'll come back to that, to where, yes, he's a great player, but I think a lot of the accolades are coming too fast and too early, even though he's a 7-year vet. But we'll get into the rest of the game in just a minute. Look, not a game in which I expected the entire roster to see minutes. Another game where I did not expect Cason Wallace to start. But one of the things I said in the last video, I said, just pay attention to Cason Wallace's minutes versus Chet's. Cason Wallace had about 36 or 35 minutes, and this was the total allotment for Chet last game. Chet only had 22 minutes in the last game, and Chet played a lot better this time around. 15.6 rebounds, kind of a game we needed from him, obviously, to bounce back. And then Jalen Williams, 19, 5 and 5. Strong game overall from our second best player. This is what we needed from both J-Dub and Chet in order to come back into this. Really glad that they made some impact on the defensive end. Jalen Williams got a couple, still not great from three, but he did make a couple of easy buckets when it was J-Dub time. Once Shai is out and it's J-Dub's time, he did make good use of those minutes. So I was happy to see him. Bounce back after a really poor game one for both Jalen Williams and Chet. So great job for him. The reason we're gonna win the title is going to be because of the two people that are sitting right next to each other on the box score. Hartenstein and Caruso are going to go down. I can say this confidently. They are going to go down as the most important offseason adds to a championship team in NBA history. I'm not talking about a star. I'm not talking about Bosh and LeBron going to a different team. I'm not talking about stars. I'm talking about role players that you get in the free agency, you get them in the offseason, and they come in and they make immediate defining impacts on your team. Caruso and Hartenstein have both made efforts on the defensive side of the ball. Hartenstein has been a better big. He's been a great rebounder. He's been able to get us past like what we weren't able to do last year against the Mavericks, where they just had way too much size, and that's what beat us. So he was able to buffer that along with Chet as well. But Hartenstein has given us a lot better facilitator, great rebounder, great passer, and I think last night had a rebound and got an alley oop up to Chet, which he could have did this floater, but instead he passed it off to Chet, which I thought was an amazing pass. That's something that we got from Hartenstein this year that obviously we didn't have last year. And Caruso, we know him for his defense, but 20 points last night, 4 for 8 from three, got to the line. That's the stuff that championship teams are made of, and he's the only person that's on here that has won a title. So those two being on our team this year, the biggest, most important offseason adds to any championship team, and I'll fight that in NBA history. I'll go back and check to make sure, but I don't know of a team that didn't add a star. I mean, a solid six-man, a big, a role player that had this much impact. I would have to check the books to see exactly who that would be. But Hartenstein and Caruso, Hartenstein didn't do it on the scoring side, but the rebounding was there. He made a lot of key passes that opened up the floor for us. Caruso, like I said, 20 points, not what we expected, but a defensive prowess on there. Really strong game from both of them. The only other things I had notes on last night that I had a problem with. So I even said on social media when people were asking me, hey, what do you think this is going to be? Do you think this is going to be a blowout? Do you think this is going to be a close game? I the Thunder were favorited by 11 and a half points going into game two. I was saying strongly to anybody that asked me, I did not think that they were going to cover 11. I thought it was still going to be a desperate game from the Pacers because I thought that if they went up 2-0, they would feel a lot more strongly about the series and would put so much pressure on us to not even be able to get home court advantage back until game six. And that would be the earliest that we can win this series. So I was under the belief that the Pacers were going to play a lot better. They're going to play a lot faster. They're going to play more desperate, and they're going to leave everything that they could out on the floor for them to win. Because I don't think we're going to go into Indiana. At worst case, I think we come out 2-2. I think it might be an even series coming out of Indiana. Best case is we come out 3-1, but I don't see that happening. And I thought the Pacers were going to play a really strong game too. But kind of what's been happening to the Thunder throughout the entire season, we spin the block back and we get our lick back. So we lose game one, we come back really strong for game two. We saw it in Denver when Aaron Gordon hit that shot, came back and blew him out in game two. We saw it in game one this time where we lost by 1 point, but I thought it was not going to be as much of a blowout as it became. 123-107 was the final score, and I didn't think that they were going to cover the entire time. I had no thought that it was going to happen. And even as the minutes were dwindling down in the last couple minutes of the game, I thought, hey, they might get some garbage time minutes. They might have some people step up and be able to close that gap onto the 11. But I was wrong. They covered. So if you took that bet, for anybody that listened to me, I apologize. I was wrong. It happens. But we'll get into the picks for game three in just a moment because I want to take a little bit of time talking about the Pacers. And look, getting to might be a controversial take, but getting to the NBA Finals, it may not be. Getting to the NBA Finals, I don't think is as big as an accomplishment as winning it, obviously. But I think we're giving way too much credit for people that are in the finals right now and putting Tyrese Haliburton in some conversations that he really maybe shouldn't be in. Because I had to look at the stats, and any casual fan would tell you Tyrese Haliburton is having a monstrous, a very great postseason, right? Anybody that told you that would believe if I were to say, hey, Tyrese Haliburton's having one of the best postseasons ever. You would believe that because of all the hype that's been surrounding his name, right? If I were to tell you that, if a casual fan were to tell you that Tyrese Haliburton is having one of the best postseason runs, you would probably believe it. And why is that? Because of all the comebacks, because of the major shots, because of the moments. But if you look at what he's done so far this postseason, let's go all the way back to Milwaukee. He averaged 17 and a half points against Milwaukee. His series high was a 26. He averaged 17 and a half points against Cleveland. Highest was a 31. Notice this 4-pointer here where, goodness gracious, obviously Cleveland won that game. He goes to New York, and what he's known for is the first shot. He has 31 points and he hits the bounce in. So he gets that. 14, 20, 32, 8, and 21. 2 losses, averaging 21 points. Going in OKC, 14 points. Again, huge moment. Hits the wing 2-pointer for the game. And then 17 points last night with only 5 points in the first half and 12 points in the fourth quarter. So is Haliburton in this conversation? Is this where we want him to be? Is he the star that everyone says he is? Is he the playoff riser like everyone says he is? He's only had a couple of 30-point performances in this entire postseason. He's not a playoff riser. He's had some really, really bad lows and some really decent highs. But are we ready to put Tyrese Haliburton in this conversation of one of the top 12 players in the NBA right now today? That's a question that's going to come up as the series goes on, but that's why the take I had was getting to an NBA finals is good. Obviously, winning it is better, but getting here puts way too much pressure and too much hype on people that we may not really believe are going to be future stars in the league. And I think the Tyrese conversation and the SGA conversation has went too far in both directions. I think both of them are deserving of credit, but I think they're getting far too much media attention in the ways that we're talking about him now. As if Tyrese Haliburton is a superstar or not, with stats like we've seen, it's not yet proven. And I actually believe that Tyrese Haliburton has the potential of being a top 12 talent. I think he is a potential superstar because he's not afraid of the moment, but he has to get stronger stats throughout these games. And now I'm going to SGA. And look, this is a Thunder fan speaking. A lot of people may kill me in the comments for these things. That's fine. It's okay. We can have this conversation. I'm seeing so much more Shai support now and seeing stats that people are pulling up out of the record books. One of the things I saw was SGA he's tied for the most 30-point consecutive home games in the playoffs, with 9 tied with Wilt. I'm also seeing that there was a graphic with him, Jordan, and LeBron for most 30-point games with at least 5 assists. I think he's tied with LeBron and tied with Jordan for both of those. Now, Shai is in his 7th year. He is a starter. He is a most valuable player. But as a Thunder fan, pump the brakes. He hasn't won the title yet. If he does win based off the last 2 performances we just saw with 38 in game 1, 34 in game 2, if he continues the 30-point streak, he will be the finals MVP. But that's all that you're going to have him on. You're not able to put Shai in a category of a top 20 all-time player yet with an MVP, a finals MVP, and a title. And excuse me for me not knowing his all stars. I think he's a 3-time All Star and maybe a 2-time All NBA. I'll have to check that to make 100% sure I'm right. But that doesn't put him in the top 20 of all time yet, which are conversations I'm starting to see. I love watching him play. He has a great developed mid range. I think he's a really solid player. I love watching him step back, cut, go into the paint, slice defenders, go through, finish however you want to, back down, dribble. I love seeing the shot go in. I love the little hesitation. I love when he slows the game down and brings it up half court, knowing what he's about to do. I love everything that he's doing, but we have to slow down because we're already talking about him in the future as if he's done all these things that we expect him to do. We got to slow down on it. Let's wait until he wins the finals. Let's wait until he wins the finals MVP. Then we can have a little bit of the conversation as him raising up, because there are going to be players now that he's going to be in a conversation with. He has a finals MVP. He has a finals MVP, a title. He's an All NBA player, an All Star, a Western Conference Finals MVP, and the MVP of the league. Doing all that in one season is going to raise him to a complete level, but let's let him get there first. Let's let him get to that level first. Then, when we start to have all time conversation, because he's 7 years in, then let's start seeing what he does with this specific team for the next 5 years. Everyone's expecting some level of a dynasty. We got Nikola that's coming back that wasn't able to play this year. That's going to be coming off the bench. We keep Caruso. We keep players like Wiggins, Hartenstein. We got these younger people that we're going to continue to develop. Case and Wallace. Um, let's see what we do for the next 3 to 5 years. Let's see if a dynasty comes out of this. If he is to go on to win one additional, if we go to 2028, if by the end of the 2028 season we see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has three 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 champ three championships, four appearances, three championships, two MVPs, three All NBAs, and two Finals MVPs, then I think we have a conversation. If he goes 3 for 3 or 4 for 4, then y'all are going to start the, I hate to say it, y'all going to start the Jordan conversation. But none of these top 20 players he's going to be able to kick out of, or top 25 he's going to kick out of, until he starts to win legitimate ring after ring after ring. Now, again, strong opinion, love Shai, love his game, but he's got a little bit of work to do before he goes into the top of the all-time rankings list. So I had my thoughts on Haliburton. I said that. Another thing I noticed too, and this is just a quick thought on the Pacers. No double-digit scoring, great, but no one's been getting over 20. Our defense has been playing well to where they're not getting anybody butting over that 20-point mark. So this is another game where the Pacers had multiple players in double digits, but nobody in the 20 range. Tyrese was the leading scorer with 17, but again, he only scored 12 in that fourth quarter after only scoring 5 in the first half. So I'm paying attention back down here. Great game by the Thunder again. Thunder win 123-107. Series is tied 1-1 in the finals. I still have the Thunder winning this series out. It'd be devastating to the Pacers organization and the fans for them to lose 3 straight games. One in Oklahoma City, two in Indiana, and one coming back to OKC winning in game 5. That's how I see this happening. I think, as I said earlier in this, I think their opportunity passed them where they needed to play with much more desperation to go up 2-0, and then they have complete control of the series, because I don't think I don't think the Thunder are going to go in and play. I think they're going to play great, but I don't think they're going to go into Indiana and win both games. I think they come out of there. I really think it's going to be 2-2 coming out of Indiana, and this is a 6-game series. I want it to be a 5-game series so the Thunder can win it at home, but It doesn't happen all the time that way. Most of the experts are saying this ends in 6 games anyway. So I still have the Thunder winning this series. I'm going to say Thunder in 6 as of right now because I don't see them winning back to back in Indiana on the road. But stranger things have happened. Into the picks for game 3. Right now, Thunder are favorited 5.5 points. Um, Money line 205. I'm probably going to Thunder win this game. If I'm gonna pick it, probably be the money line just to say 100% sure because I know they are gonna win. But I wouldn't. I don't know. Those spreads are tough, man. Thunder winning by 6 on the road. A lot of things would have to go right, and I just think Indiana's going to play with so much more energy. But the defense has been really good for OKC also. Right now, just because we're talking about it today, I'm going to say the Thunder money line at 205. I'll go ahead and take that as a for sure bet as of right now. As we get closer to game 3, we'll talk about the spread and potential any changes there. But ultimately, man, really proud of the Thunder organization getting a strong win last night. We needed that to go back up 1-1. I didn't bring up the refs. I don't know how I forgot that. Um, Referees got to do better. We should have won this game by way more. I think we had an opportunity to blow the roof off the building. The goaltending, the goaltend was missed by the refs, where I think Thomas Bryant had his hand inside the rim, which Richard Jefferson caught from 25 feet away, but the refs missed it. There was a charge by Nimhard in which Caruso went into the basket and Nimhard's shoulder went out as he was trying to make contact with Caruso. And Caruso, I think, made the layup on that too. So that would have been Caruso 2 points and one. Should have had 3 points there, but we didn't challenge it. And that actually gave them possession. So that was, I don't know if they scored off that next play. I think they did. So that was a 5 point swing back in their direction. Um, the charge, the the goaltend, and there was one other play that I can't remember off the top of my head that was like, how did we miss this? Tyrese Haliburton at over and back did happen at least twice. Um, say the goaltend, the charge, it was an out of bounds play. I can't remember it. It's all good, but the refs got to do a little better job. We should have blew that game out of the building, but a win's a win. We'll come back here a little bit. I know I said I was going to do it before game 2. Sorry that didn't happen. But we will have a little bit of a pick 'em before game 3 just to give y'all some extra stuff to come back to take a look at, see if we can win some money together. As of right now, thank y'all for watching. We got more content going to be dropping on this specific channel. We had some other sports news that came in. Anthony Richardson, shoulder injury, says he'll be back before the beginning of the season. Aaron Rodgers signing with the Steelers after one of the longest offseason acquisitions I think I've ever seen. We'll have some thoughts about that. So keep it locked in here on the Scale Sports channel. Appreciate y'all. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if there's anything that's speaking to you. And if you have any comments, drop them below. I want to hear y'all thoughts as well. Appreciate the time. Talk soon.